And we're live. Welcome back to the Enolve podcast. Today, we're going to talk about a very specific problem that a lot of people have in their lives when they want to get stuff done. We want to stop procrastinating. We want to have a lot of energy so we can do the things we want to do, live up to our potential, and achieve our dreams, right? But it's not always that easy all the time. And so today, I have with me somebody I really respect, not only because he's super experienced and an expert in that field of productivity, but also because he's really been supportive in the short time I've known him, really been supportive of the Enolve project and of me personally. So please welcome Coach Wid.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about this whole topic of productivity and increasing energy, and why is that something that you felt like, well, that's something that I need to get into and help people with?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on here, Oliver. Appreciate your platform and what you're doing out there. But yeah, when it comes to productivity, it really is an interesting thing. I feel like a lot of people, they hear productivity and sometimes they just think, it's just, getting a lot done. And I think it's so much more than that. I come from a health coaching background. So when I got into productivity, it was really because I realized that one of the biggest issues that people face is the ability to have the energy and the focus to do the things they actually care about. So maybe people that have a full-time job but want to do something else, or they have families, or their job is demanding, they're an entrepreneur, they're in sales, whatever the case may be. If they don't have the health, the mindset, and all these things in place to really operate at their peak level and produce at a high level, they don't feel like they have the fulfilling life that they want. And my mission here is to help people get that fulfillment and get that freedom in the life that they desire.
Nice, that's awesome. And yeah, I mean, obviously it is a super, I don't know, it's almost not a vehicle, it's more like it's the framework of everything, the attitude you bring toward life and toward the things you do. And interesting to me as well, and I think that's also what connects us and why I resonate with a lot of your content, the health background, right? Oftentimes in fitness and sports and exercise, we find these frameworks that we then apply, right? A lot of athletes, they often talk about how the lessons they've learned in sports totally translate to the lessons they've learned in life. Can you tell us something about that? Is there, I don't know, do you still do any health coaching, or does that still impact your life? Or how is it maybe different comparing the one field, the more business-oriented field, to the more health-related field? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so there is a difference, and this difference is what actually got me to translate from health coaching to more performance coaching. So health coaching, for a lot of people, it's really, quite frankly, the avoidance of sickness, or it's, losing weight, or just trying to get to a good place, right? Like, it's a lot of people who, they have chronic issues and they want to change their life and, get back to a good place. And that's fine. Performance coaching, I find you run into a lot of people that are already in a good place, but maybe they're just, for some reason, not fully happy with where they are because they have higher ambition. So it's just people that want to build more, want to create more. And these are the type of people that I love to work with. I love to help people create something that is outside the norm and create, an amazing life for themselves. So I do see a difference in, the people that seek out health coaching, the people that seek out performance coaching. And that's really where I see the biggest difference.
Okay, yeah, interesting way to put it, where it's the one is more the prevention and kind of like almost an insurance, a backup plan, whereas the other one is more go-getters and striving for big things. At the same time, though, and that's something that I also appreciate about your approach, when I work with you and when I talk to you, I don't really feel that coach vibe where you're like, oh, come on, you gotta go get it. In fact, you have a very warming, welcoming attitude, and I see in the background there of your call right now, there's a lot of looks like Buddhist pictures and all of that. So often this whole field ties into self-development as well, right?
Definitely.
What's been your path there? Maybe can you share from your personal life where you've gone through to discover some of these ideas and practices?
Yeah. So it's an interesting journey for me. I come from, like I said, it was that health coaching, personal training background, but it wasn't until when I became a little bit more spiritually seeking that I started to really see, what else was out there. Like I grew up very traditional, go to school, get a degree, get a job. I didn't know much about entrepreneurship, didn't travel much, and really didn't do much that was outside of the box. But as I left school and I wasn't really fulfilled in the role that I was in, I started to seek outwards more spiritually. And that led me to do a lot of traveling, do a lot of reading, and actually through spirituality is where I got into this personal development niche. And it's interesting because I feel like a lot of people do it the other way around. Like they go through personal development and then get into like the spiritual information and seeking. But for me, it was the other way around. So I started actually seeking spiritually and then got into the personal development once I found that bridge between spirituality and, reality, I guess, so to speak.
And that is interesting. Yeah, I agree with you. Usually it's the other way around. Usually people come from, having goals, business goals, really worldly things, and then a new world opens up to them. But I guess both exist. Now, when we talk about all those things, really the health, the spirituality, and the business side of things, I would imagine that these are things where you kind of, you're in the really deep in that stuff for yourself as well, right? So I mean, you would probably also benefit applying the things that you teach and that you help people with. So how do you deal with that? Do you have a coach for yourself, or do you what's the best strategy for yourself to stay productive and keep your performance at a high energy and stay focused?
Yeah, so I think the nature of reality is expansion. We should always be growing. We should always be looking to develop ourselves. So I'm constantly working with coaches that I feel like can help me take a certain aspect of my life to that next level. So a year ago, when I was really just getting more consistent on social media, I was working with a marketing coach. And then recently it was more working with a larger business coach to help scale. So it depends on where I am at that moment in my life, but I am always looking at coaches, mentors, really connecting with people, because that's really what's going to pull you up to that next level. You can read all the books and do all the things that you want to do inside, but I feel like connecting with people is really the strongest way to pull yourself up energetically to where it is you want to be. So I'm always seeking that out.
Yeah, and I think it's really great that we have the platforms today as well to do this so easily and so immediately, just like you and I right now. We hit a couple buttons and here we are, Facebook Live, broadcasting, talking, and all of that. Can you give us a couple of specific tips? I don't know, maybe what is one of your favorite strategies that you give to people? Because I know you put out a lot of content, right? But so somebody watching this right now, what tends to be like the most common, the best thing that helps a lot of people? Is there anything you can share? Drop some wisdom.
Yeah. I'll do you one better. I'll share my overall formula for how to really just level up your overall productivity, your life satisfaction, really. And it's simple, but not always easy. So it's 3 steps or 3 parts to this formula. The first is always clarity. So you always want to get very, very clear on a number of things: who you are, what contribution you want to make to the world, what is the next version of you that you want to get to, and what skills you need to develop to be that. The next step is getting your systems in place. So once you have the clarity of where it is you want to go and who it is you want to be, then you align your systems so everything that you're doing today and this week and this month is aligned with that long-term vision. And then the third part to that is really to let go of the process. And a lot of people have the most trouble with that one. And it's really to detach from the outcome, or be non-attached to the outcome, not detached from the outcome, but really just be present as much as you can, because only in the present moment can you really be tapped in to be in that flow state and understand what you need to do when, and that's when you're at your peak productive. But if you are, worrying about the past, worrying about the future, you're in the state of stress, you're not in your creative mode, you're not in the state of flow, and it's only going to cause issues and chaos in your life. So those are the three things: clarify, systemize, and, you know, let go. And yeah, I would leave it at that.
That is a really all-encompassing strategy, and if you look at things through this lens, yeah, that's really gonna set you up for success, I think. And I love the last one, because just last night I worked on that particular one. I mean, the clarity thing for me personally is like, I'm crystal clear. I know exactly where I want to go, where I want to be, who I am. You know, it's been many years shaping myself into who I am, and that's pretty clear. Of course, it's, you know, it never ends. You always keep doing that. But then the structures, yeah, I mean, some of them could be improved and whatnot, but really the letting go part, I just learned that yesterday, how, you know, when you're a high performer and an achiever, just the kind of people you work with, the kind of people who are go-getters, right? Not people who are just kind of trying to avoid the worst, but people who are striving for the best. We're really focused, and we can kind of get stubborn about how focused we are. We're like, oh, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this way, and we get stuck. And so that letting go is actually a way to relax your brain and to allow yourself to see new possibilities. And then, you know, in those new possibilities, you can manifest new opportunities and find different strategies, better strategies, and move forward ultimately, rather than to get stuck and dig yourself in. So really that letting go part is really important, but also is really difficult. And I mean, that's something that just yesterday circled back around for me, right? Because often we kind of circle around to some topics and we come back to them. Yeah.
No, that's spot on. And I don't think most people actually realize how important and how powerful that step is, because I'm not sure if you're familiar with Dr. Joe Dispenza, but he always talks about, you know, living in survival or living in creation. When you're in this survival mode, you know, it's fight or flight. You are living in scarcity. You're just trying to protect yourself. You're trying to survive. So in a business sense, if you're living in survival, it's almost like you're in a state of lack, where you are just doing what you can to prevent your business from crashing, but you're not really growing it. And when you do that, it's actually going to backfire, and you're going to crash anyways, because you're just draining your own resources, because in this state, you're just pulling energy from the body. Whereas if you're in this creative mindset, now you're in flow. Now you get the inspiration. Now you're energized by your mission and energized by the things around you. You have more energy, you have more focus. And if you are into, you know, the metaphysical stuff, it's actually enabling you to have more creative influence on the things that actually happen in your life. So it's very, very powerful.
And that's why I love talking to you, because the perspective you bring to things is just so refreshing. And you talk about this wishy-washy concept of having more energy or something, and you tie it to all these concepts that it just makes perfect sense. And it is energizing and refreshing to even talk to you. So what's a good way for people to, you know, get in touch with you and maybe get more of your content? I know you just started a podcast recently as well. Is that out yet?
So it's on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, so they can find it there. I'm most active on Facebook right now, so just my name, Widmarc Dubuisson. I guess I'll be on this live stream on there. But also on Instagram, at Coach Wid is me on Instagram. And I guess to get to the YouTube channel, you can either access it from the link on my Instagram or the link on my bio on Facebook. But yeah, I'm putting out content there. I actually have Oliver coming out on an interview that we did recently there soon. So yeah, but actually the biggest thing that I would want people to check out is the Facebook group. That's actually where I put most of my, I guess, high value content, my trainings and stuff like that. So if they go to my profile, they'll find my group on my banner, on my bio. Can't miss it.
Okay. What can we expect in a Facebook group?
Yeah, so in the Facebook group, every week, every Wednesday, I do a live high performance training. So I pick a topic. Usually it's been one that's been recommended by people in the group. Then I just go live, you know, really just talking about that topic, sharing genuine value. Like this isn't some, it's not a sales pitch. It really just is like, you know, just coaching, because I thought about a little while just what it was that I would want to do if money was no factor. Like if I had all the money in the world and I was just passing time, and coaching was what came up for me. So I coach every week in there. I drop questions and tips and other people in the group are also really awesome at being engaged and sharing their values. So it's a good group of entrepreneurs and sales professionals really just helping motivate each other and share some high performance content.
And I can vouch for that. Absolutely. Your videos are super helpful, valuable. They do provide coaching, and that's how I found you. That's how we got connected, through the video that I found in some other group. So that's a really good resource for people to check out. Yeah, is there anything that you would want to tell somebody right now? If somebody is, maybe feeling stuck, or somebody is looking for that next level in their productivity and their performance, what's the thing that they can do right now, would you say?
Well, definitely referring to the formula that I mentioned earlier. So the clarity is the first step. Before anything else, just get clear on some things. Get clear on who you want to be, what contribution you want to make to the world. But beyond the formula that I mentioned earlier, just putting yourself in the situation to become who it is you want to be. I know you've probably heard the quote that if you want to have something you've never had, you need to do something you've never done. So, don't hesitate to put yourself out there, connect with people, join some groups, reach out to coaches, just try something different. If you feel stuck and, the formula is not really resonating with you, just really put yourself out there, do something your current identity would never do, and then it'll kind of shake things up and help things switch up.
That is really good advice. Love it. Thank you so much for sharing all that wisdom. Really appreciate it. We'll drop your link to the group and everything in the description below. People can check that out and get your weekly coaching videos. That's really valuable, really good stuff. Thanks for being on, Coach Wid, and we'll be in touch soon. Okay.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
Appreciate all the work you do.
Thank you, man. Peace.